Hi, I'm Father Joseph Merrick, and welcome back to A Simple Word, where we reflect on the Gospel for the coming Sunday. At the village church in Kalinovka, Russia, attendance at Sunday school rose dramatically after the new priest started handing out candy to the children. One of the most faithful was a pug-nosed little kid who recited the scriptures with great piety and pocketed his reward and fled into the fields to munch on the candy. The priest took a liking to the boy, and he persuaded him to attend Sunday school with the other children. The boy happily agreed, because his devout parents would never excuse him of his household chores, except to attend Sunday school. By offering ever greater amounts of candy and sweets, the priest managed to teach the boy all 4 Gospels. In fact, he won a special prize for learning all 4 by heart and reciting them non-stop in the church. Now fast forward 60 years later. The grown man still likes to munch on candy and recite the scriptures, but in a context that would horrify the old priest. Because the prize pupil who memorized so much of the Bible was Nikita Khrushchev, the brutal former communist czar of atheistic Russia. As a boy, he seemed to do all the right things, but he did them for all the wrong reasons. In the Gospel this Sunday, we see that the apostles are in a similar predicament. They had set out to follow Jesus, but for the wrong reasons. Unfortunately, the Sunday lectionary breaks into 2 the accounts of Jesus questioning his disciples as to his identity and his rebuke of Peter. But the stories are intimately connected, and so we have to look at one and listen to one in light of the other. We've reached the turning point in Matthew's Gospel. It marks a crucial change in the life and mission of Christ. As we heard last week, everyone's heard of Jesus. Everyone knows his name. Even in cities and towns far beyond Jerusalem, word is spread of this incredible prophet, this man who makes the deaf hear and the mute speak, who exorcises demons and raises the dead. In Sunday's Gospel, Jesus and his disciples have traveled 20 miles north from the Sea of Galilee to the amazing city of Caesarea Philippi. In ancient times, the city was called Balinus and was devoted to the worship of the pagan god Baal. Up on the hillside overlooking the city, the river Jordan issued forth from a small cavern where a shrine had been built to the Greek god Pan, whom legend held was born in that very cave. Further up still stood a massive temple gleaming with white marble, built in honor of Caesar Augustus, who claimed to be divine. And at the base of this great structure were inscribed the words Deus Filii, the Son of God. And it's here in a city of unbelievers, surrounded by monuments to pagan gods and Roman deities and the self-made claims of Caesar Augustus, that Jesus turns to his disciples and finally asks that all-important question: who do people say that I am? And there are many answers. Most think he's some kind of prophet like Elijah or Jeremiah or John the Baptist, back from the dead. But now Jesus, he turns to his closest disciples and he puts the question directly to them. But who do you say that I am? Imagine the silence that followed. Even his closest disciples seem uncertain. Only a little while earlier, they'd seen him walking on the sea and stilling the storm to a whisper. And they'd asked themselves, who is this that even the wind and the sea obey? And suddenly Peter breaks the silence. You are the Messiah. You are the Christ of God. Yes, the Christ, the Messiah. The Messiah has come, literally God's anointed one. Ancient prophecies claim that the Messiah would be a great king of David's line, but more so a kind of superhuman figure who would come crashing into history to destroy the enemies of Israel and establish a victorious kingdom where they would reign forever as God's chosen people. This is why the disciples had left everything to follow Jesus. This is why they had abandoned their nets and their boats, had left behind their families and their livelihood, had risked everything to follow this carpenter from Nazareth, because they just dared to hope that he might be the Messiah of God. He would conquer the Romans. He would bring them victory. He would be king, and they would reign alongside him. That's why The mother of James and John had the audacity to approach Jesus and plead for positions on his right and on his left in the kingdom. This is why they were always arguing among themselves about who was the greatest. They were picturing this earthly triumph, this earthly reign, where they would reign in power with Jesus. And then Jesus says something unthinkable. He tells them that the Messiah will be arrested by his enemies, will suffer, and will be put to death. Excuse me. This is the plan? This is the Christ? He was supposed to conquer, to march forth to victory, not to some shameful death. Jesus is the Messiah no one expected. He's the Christ even Satan couldn't see coming. And Peter had left everything to follow this man. He was shocked. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't accept it. He wouldn't allow it. He forbids Jesus. He rebukes him. But Jesus turns on Peter. Get behind me, Satan. You see things only as men see them, not as God sees them. Jesus wants to be crystal clear with Peter and with us. He wants them all to hear and understand what it means to be a disciple. If you want to come after me, if you want to be my disciple, then deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. The cross. With these words, Jesus turns their world upside down. The cross is the most gruesome and horrifying symbol in the Jewish imagination, the epitome of suffering and death. And Jesus places it at the heart of Christian discipleship. Now we can look back at the apostles and we can say in retrospect, how could they have been so wrong? How could they have been so wrong about Jesus? But we're not so different, are we? We're very much like the apostles. Give me the earthly kingdom and I'll be happy. Give me security or little recognition and it'll be enough. Give me peace in my marriage and in my family and I'll be satisfied. Take care of my problems and all will be well. We make God so small. We're so ready to trade the promise of the kingdom of God for an earthly existence free of the cross. We're so quick to betray the glory beyond imagination for the simple pleasures we can taste and touch and see. We make God so very small because so often we're following for the wrong reasons. We rebel in the face of our crosses, just as Peter's about to do in this very gospel. Do you want to see the glory of God? Do you want to walk alive in that place of such splendor that it cannot enter into the mind of man? Do you want to look on love so beautiful, so perfect, so soul-piercing that you'll never desire to look away? And embrace the cross in your life today. Cling to your cross, kiss your cross, and trust with childlike faith that God is working miracles through your crosses that you don't dare to dream or imagine because your God's just too small. I'm Father Joseph Mary, and thanks for listening to A Simple Word. If you found this reflection helpful, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.